I'll be presenting on culture for Kumbu textile of the Iban in Brunei, Darussalam. So this is a major research project part. Due to modernization and globalization, the knowledge of and skills of Kumbu amongst the younger generation are scarce, which leads to the art to being forgotten or lost. The purpose of the research is to understand the youth perception towards Iban community and culture in Brunei, as well as preserving the art of weaving Kumbu while spreading awareness of the Iban culture. The research questions are: number 1, what is the origin and story behind the Kumbu? Number 2, what is the process in making the Kumbu cloth? Number 3, how are some ways we might preserve the Iban culture of Kumbu amongst the youth population of Brunei? Number 4, what are the perceptions and knowledge of Brunei's Iban's youth population towards the Iban community and preserving culture? So the summary of the literature review is that Kumbu is used in birth, weddings, funerals. It is considered a ceremonial cloth and it's sacred. It's a complement of headhunting, hence known as the woman's war. The designs and motif is weaved based on instruction given in dreams. It was produced by ikat tie dyeing and backstrap loom weaving. The process is labor intensive and time consuming. The motifs are usually inspired by living and non-living things of the world. The method and subject selection for focus group is online focus group through Google Meets. It was 5 participants. It was based on individual interest in joining the focus group, age 18 to 24, residing in Brunei. For survey, it was using Google Forms, 15 respondents. The requirements were identify as Iban, age 18 to 30, and residing in Brunei. The interview was an informal interview at Mandaram Besar Longhouse. Voice recording was used. 3 to 4 interviewees, Iban woman who has knowledge about the Kumbu, and they reside in Brunei. For the focus group, tokenism was talked a lot. Such as the negligence and how the tribe is not appreciated in Brunei, and it's used for tourism and profit making. And because it's not part of the 7 Pok Jati, they do not receive benefits like the other citizens. Since Brunei, the Iban is a minority compared to Sarawak, preserving culture was hugely talked about on the national, community, and individual level, where they all have to put effort and work together, but it starts off with individual willingness. And then today's generation also feel disconnected to own roots, as now people want to be trendy and modern. Also, when shown the Kumbu, non-Ibans have no idea what it is. As for the survey, mostly neutral feedback spending time to learn about their culture and participate in cultural practices. Most of them agree and strongly agree that they are willing to learn about their own ethnic background. They are concerned about losing their cultural identity and believe that the culture is underappreciated in Brunei. Most think that others have behaved in an unfair or negative way towards the ethnic group. They all have fairly good understanding on what Kumbu is. Most of them also disagree that the weaving of Kumbu needs to only be learned by Iban women. And then however, they strongly agree that the process of dyeing Kumbu cloth should be traditionally maintained, but they also agree that manufacturing of the Kumbu cloth should change with time. And most of them are interested in learning how to weave, and also they think that it should be more readily available in the market. As for the interview, it was mainly talk about kain karab, which is a woven skirt. However, they briefly touched on Kumbu, where the similarities are the tools used to weave and method, but the differences is the process and motifs. So for the Kumbu, they use dyes such as engkabai, mengkudu, and tarum. The motifs are usually animals, so like antelopes, flowers, insects such as butterflies. The process of ikat, dye, fold, weaving were mentioned but not in depth. Modern materials are used such as store-bought thread and multi-purpose dye. They believe in superstition where they can't weave at night, and also the respondent mentioned that they can't elaborate on the motif as they believe something bad might happen to them if they do so. Older generation stopped weaving because of age factor and other interests. Younger generation not interested as it is difficult and take time and commitment. This other research paper I took information from as well. So there's the folklore story and also the process of weaving Kumbu. So the conclusion is, for the first question, is that I couldn't get the origins and story behind it because they believe in superstition, how they can't elaborate on the motives as they believe something bad might happen to them. Where number 2, what is the process in making the Kumbu cloth? Here's the long procedure on how to make the Kumbu cloth. So in conclusion, the process is time consuming and takes a lot of effort. Duration to make the cloth depends on the size of the cloth, and then modern ways have included such as using store-bought high-quality cotton and multi-purpose dyes. For number 3, how might we preserve the Iban culture of Kumbu among the youth population of Brunei? Today's generation is not interested in learning the whole process as it is too time consuming. The national, community, and individual level have to put effort into how the culture is preserved, but most importantly, it starts with individual learningness to spread awareness and also integration of the other side, which is the non-Indigenous. And in some ways, are to target the youth population by targeting the creative scene that is happening in Brunei right now, such as pop-up events, art exhibition, fashion. And then number 4, what are the perceptions and knowledge of Brunei's youth population towards the Iban community and preserving culture? The Iban youth, they have a sense of belonging, however, they feel disconnected from their own culture. However, they are willing to learn more about their ethnic background. They are concerned about losing their identity, and as well as they believe that the culture is underappreciated in Brunei. As for Kumbu, they have a fairly good understanding of what it is, and the younger generation are more open-minded and they are willing to adapt to change. With the other ethnicities, they don't have much knowledge on the Iban culture, but they believe that preserving culture is important. With the design direction, number 1 is the cultural exhibition, where there's installations and artworks showcasing Kumbu designs, maybe collaborating with other artists as well. Number 2 is a fashion, displaying Iban culture on fashion apparel and accessory, could be sold during pop-up events or Sunday markets. For the persona, this is my first persona, Sarah. She's 18. So pre-acknowledgement, she has little to no knowledge on Iban culture. Acknowledgement is does not really care about the culture, but saw ads on there's a Sunday market in the Longhouse. So action, she goes to the markets and takes pictures and posts on social media. Post action, she has a better understanding and has some interest. This is persona number 2. He is very well known about Iban culture, and then acknowledgement is where he noticed that there's an absence of Iban culture and appreciation in the country, and he gets upset. And the action is he creates artworks and posts on social media to spread awareness and also have discussions with his friends about Iban culture. Post action, he continues to be creative and producing more creative things and support local businesses whenever possible. This is the last persona. So the pre-acknowledgement, she's very overwhelmed with work. And then the acknowledgement is she decides to go to a staycation to get away from technology. So the action, she decides to stay at Taraja Longhouse and experience performance, go trekking to the waterfall for the weekend. And then post-action, she feels relaxed and refreshed, appreciates the Iban culture and wants to learn more about the handicraft. So this is the visual culture and technology part. These are the initial 15 sketches, and then the exploration. And then the final visual idea is that there's a past and present weaving in Kumbu. It's on double side on the wood where the thread crosses over to the other side, signifying that the skill is still being preserved from past and present. This is experimenting with dyeing the yarn. This is what I hope the outcome would look like. This is just testing the colors. And then this is the process of dyeing the cotton thread for the final. And this is the progress so far on the final that I didn't manage to complete yet. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.